raise a bunch of choppers what we got formed. Yeah.
Y'all know what it do, man. This is BBS Snook, and I'm here with the rap form. We back with another React Jack. This time we head in Mississippi, man. We back in Mississippi. It's another crazy story, bro. College kids, man, young. Fella named Jay Lee was murdered, allegedly by another fella named Tim, and it's because of a down-low relationship, gang. So we got to go in here and see what this about. I seen a little bit of it, but I was like, nah, I can't watch this without the team. So y'all hit the like and subscribe, man. I want to watch it with y'all. We finna get into it, man, because it's crazy. Let's go. I'm telling you.
In the early morning hours of July 8th, 2022, 20-year-old Jimmy J. Lee donned his silver dressing gown, gold cap, and gray slippers and exited his student apartment in Oxford, Mississippi. He left his beloved Pomeranian, Lexus, at home, though he rarely left without her. 2 days later, at an impound lot where it had been towed, detectives searched through Jay Lee's abandoned vehicle. Inside, they found his bank cards and a keyring. But Jay Lee's iPhone, just like him, was missing. The content of that cell phone would hold the key to his disappearance. His private messages would not stay buried, and they would eventually lead investigators to his alleged killer.
Oh, this the killer. Legend.
Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case takes us to Mississippi, where the private life of two young men converge. One of them, a confident, open, and fun-loving spirit, and the other from a prominent local family who is living a secret life. This is the story of secret late-night hookups, of salacious Snapchats, buried evidence, and hidden truth, and what happens when it all comes to the surface. Let's take a look.
Hey, listen, man. If you LGBT, I advise you don't rock with them down low, man, bro. It can get dangerous, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I done seen a lot of stories, bro, about y'all losing y'all life trying to play with these so-called straight for show type of men, bro. No.
University of Mississippi graduate Jay Lee spoke with his mother Stephanie every day, often more than once. They chatted in the mornings while Jay prepared to leave for his internship, a position he was undertaking for credit towards his master's degree in social work. Jay had completed his undergraduate degree early and with honors. Jay was known to be extroverted. The word most often used to describe the young graduate was vibrant. He made friends easily and was always connected. He texted family and friends throughout the day, often checking in with his mother midday and again in the evening. July 8th was Stephanie Lee's birthday. Every year, Jay called and sang his mother happy birthday over the phone. Following his first celebratory message sent that day at 2 a.m., she messaged back around 7, but received no response. From the family home in Jackson, Stephanie messaged and called. As the family continued with their plans throughout the day, she sporadically placed calls to Jay in Oxford. Then to the Oxford PD, pleading that they perform a welfare check. She reached out to Jay's friends, who likewise called, messaged, and set out searching for him. From outside his unit at the Campus Walk Apartments, friends could hear Jay's dog, Lexus, barking. But there was no answer at the door. University police pulled video surveillance footage from Campus Walk. It showed Jay leaving his apartment a little after 4 a.m.
Bunning it all, bro. 5 o'clock in the a.m., man. Going to see about a man by the horse, man. Crazy work.
Back about 40 minutes later. Then, leaving again that morning at 5:58. Jay wore a dressing gown, a cap in his favorite color, gold, as well as a pair of slippers. It did not appear that he intended to be gone for very long. Pinged locations from AT&T showed Jay's iPhone at different locations after midnight until 7:28 a.m. on July 8th. The last two locations were near to Stone Park and Residential College South. Not far from his apartment complex, though he was certainly not at home. His banking transactions showed no purchases beyond automatic payments had been made on any of his debit or credit cards since the day before, July 7th. Pleas were made by law enforcement as well as the Lee family to the public for any information that may be useful in locating Jay Lee.
want everyone to know that whether you're black, white, green, polka dot, it doesn't matter who you are, he was there to help if you saw the need. I'm asking that if anyone knows anything or sees anything, say something. Call, contact the law enforcement. Just tell them what you know. This is my plea that you help find my child.
I couldn't imagine one of my kids being missing or deceased. But that's got to be just an uneasy feeling. You don't know if they're still alive. Ooh, that's tough.
Following Jimmy's video and the UPD press release, investigators received a call from a local towing company called Bandit Towing. The company services Molly Bar Trails, an apartment complex catering to University of Mississippi students. On the afternoon of July 8th, the company had towed a black Ford Fusion that had been left in the lot and was not owned by a resident. The car had distinctive features. It had a gold stripe down the center of the hood, an I Love My Pomeranian bumper sticker, and the license plate J. Lee. There was no doubt as to the owner. Photographs taken by the towing company showed the car parked over the curb and with its front tires pulled far to the left. Investigators speculated that this was indicative of a parking job done in a hurry. Inside the vehicle, they located a key ring as well as Jay's credit and debit cards. Additional keys and other personal items, with the exception of his phone, have been located in his apartment. The car could be traced to the Molly Bar complex via security camera footage. It was captured traveling in that direction on the morning of July 8th, just before 7:30 a.m. At no point is the driver of the vehicle clearly visible. Only Jay Lee's fingerprints were found on the steering wheel. The towing company were not the only ones reaching out to the university and Oxford police. A good friend of Jay's, 27-year-old X-ray technician Khaled Fears, offered an insightful piece of information to investigators. On a break from his night shift at a local hospital, Khaled had been FaceTiming with Jay as he exited his apartment that morning just before 6 a.m., the last time that anyone was known to have seen or spoken with him. Jay told his friend that he was on his way to meet up with a romantic interest. Without revealing the name of the man he was meeting, he explained that the two had been intimate earlier that night. But things had turned sour, and they had an argument. In fact, Jay told Khaled that he had returned home and immediately blocked this love interest across all his social media accounts.
Boy, so why would you go back? That man called you. He had to call him and lure him in. Boy, if it go bad, if y'all just a love interest and it went bad, it was some exposing about to go on.
Only hours later, however, they had somehow reconnected, and he was willing to give it another go. His mystery man had promised to do with him, or rather to him, something that he had never done before.
Boy, stop.
Their video connection, Khaled saw the open sky in the background and heard the sound of the Ford Fusion starting up as the call ended. For the second time that night, Jay was on his way to the home of his unknown lover. Khaled messaged a few hours later, "Hey friend," he wrote, hoping to see how it went. He received no reply. Investigators may not have had Jay's phone, but they had access to his iCloud. On July 22nd, Detective Douglas finally acquired the messaging data. He found messages between 5:30 and 6 a.m. that sounded as if Jay Lee was going to see someone, just as Khaled had told them. The exchange was with a username, RedEye24. Beginning at 5:17 a.m., the messages read, "Who the F is this?" Redeye replied, "Come back," followed by, "You comin' or nah?" "No," Jay replied at 5:27. "Why not?" "You fool, like you done did some questionable stuff, but that there was too much. Have a good night, Tim." At 5:37, Jay wrote, "Yeah, now it seemed like you just trying to lure me over there to beat my ass or something."
He felt it. You got to go with your first stomach, man. You already knew the play. But he told you he was going to blow your wheels off. You was like, oh, no, I got to go see what that bat. Damn.
Redeye replied, "You trippin'. I do feel bad because we cool, so I ain't trying to end like this." "How we cool and you barely want me to text you?" Redeye tried to reassure him. "I'm saying you're a cool person." At that point, Jay suggested that he would return, but on one condition. He wanted a physical act from Redeye as a show of mutual consideration. The response came moments later at 5:45, and Redeye agreed.
You know that man only probably don't never do that, man. Oh, man. Set yourself up for the okie doke, man. Listen, that's tough.
Jay left his apartment before 6 a.m. At 6:03, he sent one final message. Open, it read. Investigators assumed he had arrived at Red Eye's home. He was not seen or heard from again.
Of course not.
The Red Eye account was traced back to an email from the Dirt for Diamonds podcast. The host was University of Mississippi graduate, 22-year-old Shelton Timothy Harrington Jr.
Well, thank y'all for listening, and this is another episode of Dirt for Diamonds podcast, and I hope to see y'all next.
Tim Harrington hailed from a distinguished and respected family in Grenada. His grandfather has been the pastor of a local church for over 4 decades. Since his university graduation, Tim Harrington had been working with a friend to operate a moving business. He also assisted his grandfather with the upkeep of various rental properties owned by his family. Once connected to the Snapchat account, investigators were able to link Tim's other correspondence with Jay Lee. They found that the conversation between the two had originated earlier in the night and from a different account. These messages further suggested that the two were in a sexual relationship. They also indicated that Tim was hiding his sexuality.
Okay, I know the play. They got into it about that. Jay Lee blocked him. He hit from another account to try to lure him over, try to act sweet. Oh, it's gonna be okay. It's all good, bro. We're gonna get through this type of situation. And before he let his identity get exposed, he want to go ahead and get rid of bro. Happens all the time, man. Y'all be safe.
Publicly. To Tim's original account, Jay wrote, I just wanted to be able to say I had you. Be the down low again. Fun to have been the first guy. Experiment over. Also, on your floor, so you should get that up, by the way. Oh, and the nude was fake too. Back to block now. After this, Tim attempted to call Jay 3 times unsuccessfully. Jay Lee had blocked Tim across all of his accounts. It was after Jay took this step that Tim, using his alternative Red Eye account, reached out once more and convinced him to return to his apartment at Lafayette Place. It was less than half a mile away from Campus Walk. On the morning of July 8th, after meeting with Jay Lee at his home, Tim Harrington searched for the location of a Walmart on his Google Map app, then drove to one. He was captured on camera examining large garbage bins, though he had no need of one in his apartment complex.
Oh, going to Walmart and getting the tools right before the situation is crazy work. That's the craziest work. You sloppy. You sloppy, gang.
He eventually purchased a roll of duct tape and returned to Lafayette Place.
Crazy, man.
Later on, he was captured driving his white Ford Escape past various locations in Grenada, including RS Cleaners, Wade Incorporated, and Emmanuel Baptist Church. After the Walmart trip, he switched vehicles, having picked up the box truck used for his moving company. His phone data corroborated these movements. By mid-morning, he arrived at his parents' home in Grenada, where video footage showed him wiping his shoes before retrieving a shovel and a wheelbarrow from the house. In earlier footage, he was seen wearing white and black tennis shoes, but later he switched to rubber boots.
Oh my God, bro. It's cameras everywhere, man. Once they on your trail, they gonna see everything you doing, bro. You're not doing nothing slick, man. Y'all boys is not professional, man. Stop unaliving people, man. You don't know what you're doing, gang. Yeah, going to prison.
By the evening, Tim returned to his parents' home, unloaded the wheelbarrow from the truck, and left again. Investigators first spoke with Tim at his home, inquiring about the nature of his relationship with Jay Lee. He described Jay as an acquaintance, but denied having a close relationship or any recent contact. He also offered a rundown of his movements for July 8th, noting that he picked up the box truck later that day in preparation for a house move. His business partner, however, contradicted this assertion, telling law enforcement that no moves had been scheduled for that day.
Crazy,
During
man.
this initial interview, Tim also omitted potentially critical details, namely that he had been in the vicinity of the Molly Bar apartment complex that morning. Footage obtained from the entrance of the complex showed Jay Lee's car entering at 7:25 a.m. The car had been tracked driving from the area of Lafayette Place, though not directly from the building. 9 minutes after the car pulled into Molly Bar at 7:34, a figure in black shorts and a gray hoodie was captured jogging from the parking lot. Investigators believed this individual was Tim Harrington.
Crazy, man. CCTV capturing you all over the city, man. Timelines looking crazy. I'm telling you, bro. This is ugly.
During a second interview held at the police station, Tim amended his timeline and his story. He admitted to having a sexual relationship with Jay Lee and that they had been together on the night of July 8th. He also stated that he had been for a jog near the Molly Bar complex, where Jay's car was left, around 7:30 a.m. the following morning. Indeed, there was no denying his presence in the area. As he jogged from the direction of Molly Bar, he encountered a friend at the Rockets gas station. Keziah Carter offered Tim, who was dressed in his black shorts and gray hoodie, a ride back to Lafayette Place. Keziah recounted that Tim had been sweating and was slightly out of breath, though not nearly to the extent that one would expect had he been out for an extended jog in his hoodie in the 86-degree heat.
Crazy, man.
At the station, Tim was asked by detectives what he thought may have happened to Jay Lee. He suggested that the 20-year-old grad student had met someone for casual sex, and then they kidnapped him. Detectives immediately interpreted this statement as unintentionally insightful and incriminating.
Sometimes, man, when y'all get in them interrogation room, man, it's best for you not even say nothing. Why y'all feel like y'all gonna give certain side? You can't trick these people. They already asked you these questions because they feel like they already know what's going on. The less they know, the more your ass can go home, man. Y'all get in them interrogation room, just don't say nothing. Call your lawyer, bro. That's it.
Searches for Jay Lee continued for weeks and months while the investigation was ongoing. Tracing Tim Harrington's cell phone location data, teams were sent out to remote locations across Oxford and Granada, but they failed to locate Jay or any indication of where he might be.
I'm always thinking about him, but it gets deep sometimes where, you feel like you're falling apart just thinking about he's not here.
It is a nightmare because nothing like this has ever happened to us. He is not the type of person to just go missing or not contact us. If you know anything, please just come forward. Honestly, just talk to us and tell us something.
A movement on the University of Mississippi campus held rallies to increase awareness of the case.
I didn't know Jay Lee, but I would hope that if one of my family members went missing, that people would care. And you don't see that as much when the person who's missing isn't some little blonde girl.
Tim Harrington was arrested and charged with murder. He was released on a $250,000 bond pending trial. The state theorized that Timothy Harrington was desperate to keep his relationship with Jay Lee secret. They believed that after the two argued, Tim feared being exposed by Jay Lee, and so he coaxed him back to his home to strangle him. Indeed, Google search history from Tim's devices supported this assertion. Only moments after Jay agreed to return to Lafayette Place, Tim searched, how long does it take to strangle someone?
Hey there.
Boy, goofy. Y'all, goofy, bro.
No weapon. There is no blood. How do we know there's been a murder committed? There's nobody. There's no gunshots heard. I mean, nobody has seen a struggle or heard of a struggle. So how do we know that someone is dead? And how do they know that Timothy Harrington did it? I'm just baffled. Because I know in my heart that he did not commit murder. I know the type of young man he is. He does not have it in him to kill anyone.
Do you believe that your brother killed Jimmy Jay Lee?
I do not believe my brother killed Jimmy Jay Lee. Based upon the person I've known for the last 22 years, well-mannered, leader, caring person, non-confrontation.
Y'all do not know who is who in the brains and in the hearts of these people, man. You don't know what people capable of, man. I learned this a long time ago. You don't know what nobody capable of doing. Some of the serial killers, the most notable serial killers in the world, was the most upstanding citizens, man. You would have never thought.
Hinds County Assistant District Attorney Gwen Ego was appointed as a special prosecutor to try the case. The Lafayette District Attorneys had declined to seek the death penalty, though Tim did face a potential life sentence if convicted. His defense team had successfully argued that a fair trial could not be secured inside the county limits of Lafayette. Jurors were selected in Hattiesburg, about 250 miles south of Oxford, and transported by bus to Lafayette County. They were sequestered for the proceedings.
So reading some things like I do, and I saw something that said, the rest is silence. Because I was thinking, what makes up a life? Jay's death is in silence. No more financial transactions. No more social media posts. No more contacts with his mother, not checking up on her, not on her birthday. No more contacts with his dogs. No more anything. The plans for grad school, the news, the dreams. All proof that Jay's no longer with us. But right before Jay gets to the apartment, when he's headed over, right before he gets there, just mere minutes, Timothy searches how long would it take to strangle someone.
Crazy, man.
The biggest gap in the prosecution's case was the lack of physical evidence. Not only had they never located Jay Lee, but they had failed to define a crime scene. Searches of Jay Lee's fusion, of Tim's escape, and of the box van were not performed until over 2 weeks after Jay went missing. The same was true for the search warrant obtained for Tim's home in Lafayette Place. DNA and fiber evidence was lacking. Over 70 search warrants had provided the state's case with very little. Cadaver dogs had indicated inside the apartment. Investigators found a Walmart bag with latex gloves inside. They found a single acrylic fingernail. They found a gray hoodie. At Tim's parents' house in Grenada, they found a pair of black shorts and a white t-shirt, similar to those worn on the surveillance video. It was not exactly a smoking gun.
DNA evidence, blood, urine, trace evidence whatsoever. They don't have one scintilla. That means anything in legal terms. First of all, the death occurred in Lafayette County if it did occur. Second of all, any trace evidence in this apartment, 0. I'm not saying it speculatively, it is their proof that a crime was ever committed inside our client's apartment, or in the parking lot, or in his car, or in Jaylee's car. Nowhere.
Defense attorney Kevin Horan put Jay Lee's personal life on trial. Following claims that he was not passing judgment, the attorney proceeded to imply that Jay Lee's romantic rendezvous provided an opening for reasonable doubt of his client's guilt.
Ms. Lee's conduct prior to this night and the manner in which he conducted himself. I'm not passing judgment on the young man. Those are facts. Things that occurred in his life, it was not unusual for him to be going out in the middle of the night. I think that's going to show. I didn't make these things up.
The defense's argument was not well received by those close to Jay, including best friend Jose Reyes. The two had met and bonded at an Ariana Grande concert, only to...
Nah, you know, they in deep Mississippi, man. They don't care nothing about that LBG situation down there, bro. Especially not no old white T, man. Talking about he ain't passing judgment. You're a damn lie. Stop lying to people, man. But lawyers the best liars, though. I ain't gonna lie.
To discover later that they had the same major at the same university and had lived in the same student building.
Flamboyantly, as basically as a woman, correct? A lot of times.
He dressed as Jay Lee.
Okay, Jay Lee. But I understand, but if someone, he just dressed up, if you just looked at him, he appeared to be dressed up as a woman on a lot of occasions, or at least in a feminine manner. Is that a fair statement?
He dressed very fashionably.
Okay, all right. So
no, he dressed like a woman, bro. He dressed in a feminine manner. Y'all always trying to just answer the question, bro. You always want to go around the situation, man. When dealing with this type of situation, man, just be straight down the line with the thing, man.
So would that also be a fair statement that he, quote unquote, liked to hook up with people that were on the down low?
Excuse me?
Is it a fair statement based on what you know about Jay Lee that he liked to hook up with individuals that were, when you testified earlier, were on the down low? That he liked to do that? Is that right?
What's the relevancy to this question, sir?
Yes or no, bro? Did you like to hook up with down low men or not, man?
Can you rephrase it? I'm sorry.
Well, that whether or not Jay Lee liked to hook up with individuals, I'm not saying whether it's men or women or what, but individuals that were on the down low, he liked to do that, correct?
No.
Was Jay Lee down low?
No, ma'am. As fashionably as he dressed, no, ma'am.
So it was obvious that he was gay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But when opposing counsel was talking about participating in the down low culture, I think he was referencing Jay didn't out people.
Correct.
Khaled also took the stand.
Better not out nobody, man. That's how these folk be getting smacked. That outing. That'll do it. Get you killed.
Described his relationship with Jay as one of genuine friendship, though he was several years older and occasionally offered advice based on his own life lessons.
Yeah, I would tell him that like a down low man or a man who isn't comfortable with their sexuality is not someone you want to be out here hooking up with. I was like, because, you know, I told him, I said they will kill you before their dirty little secret gets exposed.
Facts. That's a fact.
Unlike Khaled, who saw the pleas for information from law enforcement and immediately reached out to share what he knew, Tim Harrington had kept to himself. The night before the disappearance was publicly announced, he searched for Jay's Twitter account. In the days following, as local news was flooded with requests for information, Tim performed numerous searches, including one for Molly Bar Apartments on July 10th. This search was conducted before the UPD had located Jay's car.
Pointing to the right.
Yes, ma'am. He searches the Molly Bar Apartments. UPD on the 10th released the press notice that Jay Lee was missing this same day around this same time. At this time, UPD had not found the vehicle yet. We didn't know where it was at. And once that notice comes out from UPD, he Googles Molly Bar Apartments at 3:10 p.m.
On July 11th, he searched Ole Miss Police and Jimmy Lee. The next day, he again searched Oxford MS Police multiple times. In the following days, he typed Jimmy Lee, find Jimmy Lee, and Ole Miss Police repeatedly, but he did not contact law enforcement. In an effort to display the thoroughness of the investigation, Assistant District Attorney Ego asked after every person of interest that detectives considered.
Early on in the case, Jose Reyes was a person of interest, basically just because the family at the time didn't know a whole lot about Jose, but thought that he might have been Jay Lee's boyfriend at the time. So we run down every avenue that we can. So we talked to him and ended up clearing him and figured out that no, they're just really good friends.
Tell me about another suspect or person of interest that you all looked into.
LeBroderick Peterson.
And why was he a person of interest?
So LeBroderick was a person of interest because he was one of the people that had texted Jay Lee earlier that morning or late in that night of the 7th, 8th. He was one of the recent contacts in Jay Lee's phone records. We talked to Khalid Fears. Of course, he was one of the first ones, or one of the last ones to talk to him. In a murder investigation or in a missing persons investigation, you got to clear everybody. You got to kind of go look through anybody that you can. Kent Ware.
What about Rashad Hayes?
We also looked into Timberland Mathis. Looked into Devon Franklin. Blaine Brown was one of the last people that there was digital communication between him and Lee.
And were any of these people confirmed to be in the area?
Lee phone was going crazy. They had a lot of persons of interest in it there, man. He was talking to all the boys, man. I wanted all them boys with DL, man. Y'all got to stop it. It's going down, man. Them phone, y'all got to get out them phone, man, with these folks. You don't want to be out of it, all that, man. I'm telling you. Because you're going to end up having to commit murder. And you see what's going on?
Of the Fayette Place Apartments at this time?
No, they were not.
Do any of these people live at the Fayette Place Apartments?
No.
And the conversation that you all were looking into, the one between Red Eye and Jay Lee, were any of these people behind that account?
No, they were not.
Who was behind that account?
Timothy Harrington.
Many of these persons of interest were eliminated from consideration based in part on their cell phone location data. Location data, however, also showed Tim, or at least his phone, at his apartment, not driving Jay Lee's vehicle. The defense closed its case by arguing that Jay Lee could have driven the car to the Molly Bar student complex himself. Prosecutor Ben Creekmore argued that Tim Harrington killed Jay Lee and then hid his body as a way to also conceal his own secret, to protect his lie.
How does the state establish?
You know that boy preacher's son. You know he don't want to come out as LGBT. You know he had to get rid of that evidence by any means necessary, man. Stop it.
Beyond a reasonable doubt, Jay Lee was not alive with T.B. Harrington when the car arrived at Molly Bar Church. No one testified that he identified Mr. Harrington driving the car. Think about the fact that fingerprints that were found in his car were Jay Lee's fingerprints. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the driver's side of the car. Think about the fact that Mr. Harrington's prints were not found on the How does the state establish beyond a reasonable doubt that Jay Lee was not alive when Timmy Harrington left for Walmart and returned?
5:58, Jay Lee leaving the apartment. In that picture, you can see the key to his car. You can see the phone where he was talking to police officers. And you can see Jay Lee in his robe and slippers. The last person to ever have custody and control of those keys is Tim Harrington. The last person to have custody and control of that phone is Tim Harrington. You know that, tracking that car, Molly Bar Trail Spot, where that phone is. You know that key was there because you had to have the key to drive the car there. The last person to ever have his hands on Jay Lee is Tim Harrington. And you know what? Because of Tim Harrington's actions, nobody was able to find the key.
After the first 5 hours of deliberations, the jury sent a note to Judge Kelly Luther, stating that they would be unable to reach a verdict. The judge urged them to continue, which they did. Once more, they sent a note inquiring what to do if they could not agree. Eventually, they were called back into court, stating that a unanimous verdict was impossible.
Further deliberations resolved this. Jury, that another juror with that same opinion?
Yes.
All right. I thank you for your effort.
This trial.
I'm going to declare a mistrial.
Told you. If you ain't got all the evidence, listen, nobody, if the body don't show up, they ain't really got no case, man. And they ain't get no evidence, no DNA, no nothing. It's hard. It's hard to prove a case. It's hard to prove a murder without no body, man. It's hard.
The final vote was 11-1 in favor of conviction. The dissenting juror, who wished to remain anonymous, later told media that one of the main reasons for their not guilty vote was that no body was found and that some of the evidence did not add up.
Facts.
Prosecutors announced their intention to retry the case. Less than 2 months after the mistrial, on the 3rd of February 2025, deer hunters in Carroll County off of County Road 65 at an illegal dumping site discovered human remains. 2 days later, they were confirmed to be those of Jimmy J. Lee. Carroll County is located an hour and a half southwest of Oxford. Few additional details have been released regarding the potential evidence connecting Jay's remains to Tim Harrington. A cause of death, if determined, has not been made public. Lafayette County prosecutors, however, have re-indicted Timothy Harrington for capital murder, with an additional charge.
Timothy Harrington Jr., staring forward, not speaking, headed back to Lafayette County Jail after being arraigned on a new charge of tampering with physical evidence, on top of a capital murder charge in the death of Jimmy J. Lee. Harrington pleaded not guilty and was denied bond. Lee's parents encouraged by the latest developments in Lafayette County Circuit Court.
Justice is getting close to being served. It's an ongoing process. We know it doesn't happen overnight, but we're forever with faith.
Timothy has reportedly let go of Kevin Horan as his defense attorney and has been assigned a public defender.
Hold on, you let go of your attorney who got you the mistrial and got a public defender on a murder? Boy, your head going to, boy, they finna throw you up under, you're going down, okay? Tripped out there. You tripped out. If my lawyer give me a mistrial, there's no way he's getting fired. We locked in probably for 4L. What are we talking about here?
As of the publication of this video, a new trial date has not been announced. The decision to pursue the death penalty in this second trial is under consideration.
Yeah, I told you. Told you they were gonna try to give bro the chip, man. Hey, listen, man. Message to our ideas, me and him, man. If you ain't standing on what you own, don't even do it, bro. Because one thing about the LGBT, you get on their bad side, they gonna out your ass. They gonna tell on your ass, man. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to go to extreme lengths, man, for your identity not to be exposed to your player partners and your girlfriends and all that, man. Stand on what you're on out here, man. If you're doing something in that world, man, and you can't stand on that, man, don't do it, bro. I live by that. If you're out here doing shit you can't stand on, don't do it. You see what I'm saying? Man, y'all tell me in the comments, man, what y'all think about this video. Do y'all think he killed Jay Lee? Or do y'all think... Just tell me what you think, man. I'm blue. See what I'm saying? This is the rap forum, man. I'm gonna give it a child later on, man. This one got my head hurting a little bit.